Hello everyone and welcome. How is the universe born out of AUM, AUM or OM, OM? How is the universe born out of OM? And also, how does Atma equal Brahman? Well, let us define these two words first, Brahman and Atma. Brahman is the uncreated, unchanging, actionless element in existence. Brahman equals reality, equals awareness, equals I, like the letter I. The same uncreated, unchanging, but seemingly active element that is seemingly enclosed in a body-mind complex is Atma. Atma is the reflection of Brahman in a body-mind complex. So Atma equals self, equals soul, equals consciousness, equals I am. As an analogy, if the space enclosed in a pot is Atma or consciousness, then the infinite space is called Brahman or awareness. The pot space is only seemingly enclosed, seemingly individualized, seemingly in movement, in life. Science tells us that the Big Bang is the T equals 0 for the universe. T denoting time. T equals 0 at the Big Bang. T equals 0 is thus the underlying non-dual single reality, and science calls it singularity, that seemingly created this universe. Anything T equals 0 plus or T equals 0 minus is not now, but is the future or the past. The Big Bang was T equals 0 at the time of the Big Bang, but the Big Bang cannot be T equals 0 now. It equals T minus 13.8 billion years. It is an event from the past. The universe is expanding with such an incredible speed. Only the location of now can be T equals 0. This T equals 0 is beyond time. It is always now. So let us call T equals 0 as now. T equals 0 as pure light. T equals 0 as Brahman or reality or awareness. Where can we locate or perceive T equals 0 at present? Where can we locate or perceive the pure light and or now at present? Well, any perception must involve these two elements, observer, subject, and observed, object. So let us analyze these two. Where can we locate T equals 0 for an observer subject? All perceptions take place in our minds, and consciousness or Atma is the observer which witnesses everything that is happening in our minds, yet not affected by anything. Look at the sun. The light from the sun takes 8 minutes to reach us. So T equals 8 minutes. That means we are looking at the sun that was 8 minutes ago, not the actual sun or not the now sun. Sun is thus a memory object. In fact, the universe is only made up of memory objects. It is just impossible to find a now object in the physical universe. Look at the moon. The light from the moon takes 1.3 seconds. T equals 1.3 seconds. Now look at the tree outside the window. The time taken for light to reach the ice is only 10 microseconds. So T equals 10 microseconds. As the distance reduces, the time taken for the light to reach our eyes reduces. Remember that any perception entailing even the slightest time involves reflected light, not the original light or pure light. If you extrapolate this backward, the only logical location for T equals 0 or now is in the subject or observer itself. Who is watching these objects? That is where pure light, not reflected light, can be located. Atma is the subject or observer. So T equals 0 is the coordinate or location for Atma that is within you. Now, where can we locate T equals 0 for an observed object? Well, by the same reasoning as above, for any object to be a now object, it must be within the subject or observer or Atma. At T equals 0, the sun is a now object, and this now object is beyond the space-time framework and is within Atma. If not, any object would be a memory object. The only way to understand this is that for any object to be outside the space-time framework, it must be in its unmanifest or potential or seed form within the subject or observer or Atma. There is no actual sun here, but there is only the potential to become the sun. In the same way, Atma has the potential to become any object in the universe. T equals 0 for the observer is within each one of us. And we saw that the T equals 0 for all the objects is also within us. However, at T equals 0, both subject and object are not separate from each other. Object collapses into subject. They are completely unified and homogeneous with no separation whatsoever. This is the singularity which science is referring to. It is the unity of the subject and the object. This means at t equals 0, the subject is not only aware but must also be self-aware. In other words, this subject must be aware of itself in the absence of any objects. Objects are only in the potential form. Consciousness in each of us is self-aware because whatever is aware must be self-aware. Therefore, t equals 0 is Atma or consciousness. Since t equals 0 equals Brahman or reality or awareness or I, Atma, which is consciousness or self or soul or I am, equals Brahman. Atma equals Brahman. It is therefore logical to conclude that the Big Bang was apparently born out of this self-aware consciousness or self or Atma. The matter and energy, time and space is apparently born out of this consciousness. Therefore, Brahman or awareness or I equals Atma or consciousness or self or I am. But I am equals AUM, AUM. How? I am comes from AYAM, AYAM of Sanskrit, meaning amness, which comes from Om, AUM. That's how I am is the same thing as Om. So the universe has originated, born out of this Om. Aitreya Upanishad says, Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam in Sanskrit means prior to knowledge, which is I am or Om. Remember the Bible verse, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Much earlier verse from Yajurveda says, in the beginning was Brahman, with whom was the sound, and the sound was verily Brahman. Thank you.